Alright, Battle for Azeroth, cinematic trailer. I do not have a BlizzCon ticket. Um, I'm late to the game. It is 3:30, Friday, November 3rd. Let's see what the fuck this is. I'm hearing something about Kultiris. That sounds interesting. I'm a lore nerd. Let's go. Inappropriate for children! Oh! Oh, yeah, 1080. Did you guys see the Warcraft movie?
Ours is a cycle of hatred.
Yeah, it is,
Alliances
Sylvanas.
forged and broken.
You're the
Paid the price for sharing this world.
you're the last person who should
We
talk
have
about this.
forgotten what makes us strong.
Is that Anduin? Again?
We have her cornered.
Is that Anduin?
Keep firing!
Interesting. Neat. Catapult at the top. That's, What happened to that guy's armor? That's interesting. Interesting things going on here. Oh, like you care. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she only looks like that because she's terrified of dying. I know what you're about, Sylvanas. Unless they retcon in some feelings. There, see? She's got the hell scream thing going on. I don't like Sylvanas. I don't like her. No, Anduin! Oh no. Oh dear. Anduin, what the fuck are you even doing here? Like, what the hell? I'm gonna guess that he just asked himself that, actually. That sounds about right. Yeah! Paladin! 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 I know he's supposed to be a priest, but... But he's, you know what? He's in armor. I don't care. He's everything that Arthas should have been. I'm not saying that Arthas sucks, but what Arthas was meant to be, you know. Okay, you know. Yeah. So, Colteris, I guess? Get hype? No, I don't know. Um, huh. Well, would they just would they just settle on what the fuck Sylvanas is supposed to be? Like, is she supposed to care? Is she supposed to not? Is she supposed to be self-centered? Like, is there supposed to be something left of her in there? Like, is there not? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I know that like there's probably something about like we're not supposed to know, you know, or something like that. But like I can't help but wonder if Blizzard knows either. And that's and that's kind of an issue because it's like that's one of the problems of having multiple people working on a single character, you know? Is like you know scratching my head. But some people will write them like one way and other people will write them another way, you know, and you know, that their personality ends up all over the place, you know, and like kind of like how Illidan has like 17 different levels of self-awareness right now, you know? Like I don't know. How it's that whole thing of like, does he still believe that he won at the Frozen Throne? Because for a while he did. He was just like, yeah, I totally beat Arthas' ass, but I just left because I wanted to. You know? Like, that was seriously a thing. But that was also back in vanilla, so I don't know if that's even... Like, that's the only thing. I don't know how much of vanilla is even canon anymore. So, like, I don't know if there's parts of Burning Crusade that are no longer canon. I don't know if there's parts of Wrath of the Lich King that are no longer canon, you know? And that's kind of the that's kind of the problem when your franchise lasts longer than a decade, you know? And there's something to be said for franchises that don't last that long because their canon doesn't get all muddled up, you know? Like, you also see this problem with things like Star Trek and Star Wars and, like, well, especially Star Wars, you know, because, like, Star Trek is more, like, grounded in more of a reality, you know, because it doesn't have... It's got some fantasy elements in it, you know, but it's more of, like, a hard science fiction. But, like, Star Wars is more, like, science fantasy. So it suffers more of the issues that WoW does. Or, you know, Warcraft generally. But, I mean, at this point, I don't know if there's really any point in even mentioning anything other than World of Warcraft. Because, like I said, everything else is fucking non-canon now. Even all the books just say World of Warcraft on them. Like, I'm looking at my well, yeah, well, I guess I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, yeah. Well, no, see, the Chronicle volumes say World of Warcraft on them, and those go even before World of Warcraft, so I don't even know. So, that's the thing that I wonder about Sylvanas' character. Because there were things like short stories in which it was like, oh, I'm so afraid of dying because undead don't go to see their ancestors or they don't move on to their next life or anything. They just end up in this horrible pit of other undead that are screaming for release and are never going to find it. So that's why I've got to get all these Valkyrs so that I never die. You know, and that's why she did all that shit with, like, trying to enslave Aegir. And yeah, also, Sylvanas, pretty much all of your problems are self-inflicted. I'm just saying. So, so yeah, sorry about that, Sylvanas, but you know, um, yeah, they are. They are. In fact, let me go get that picture real quick, because I actually made a bunch of people mad with this because, yeah, um, yeah, kill Sylvanas, kill her. She's gone on too long. It's time. I made a bunch of people mad with this because I really think that it's time to kill Sylvanas. Because, like, they have done this with better characters than her. And part of the reason that I think that they should just get rid of her already is because they can't seem to decide what to do with her. Like, okay, yeah, great, she's war chief now. I mean, Christ, like, that's... She was always better as this kind of in the shadows, sort of like, what's she gonna do? Sort of, like, you know, always better as like the scheming vizier, never good on the throne. You know? Like, that was always the sense that I got with her. And so now that she's on the throne, and it's like, well, she can't just... And we already had Garrosh. So she can't really do the obvious thing that you would think that she would do, which is to say, enslave, enslave everybody and make everybody else miserable to feed her own ends. Because we just did that. So either that's going to happen in this expansion, or they've retconned feelings into her. I don't know. I mean, and it's not as if she doesn't have a history of doing that. She was breathing down Lorthamar's neck, her own former people, to keep him under heel. That was another short story. Back when he was, like, making some effort to try and, you know, make amends with the Quel'Dorei. And then he was, like, he figured out that, oh no, that's never gonna work because, you know, he's been with this Horde bullshit for too long and they're never gonna forgive him. And so he was just like, oh god, this is pointless. And then he gets back home, and then she's there, and she's just like, hey, you gotta ship out, we need your fucking forces. And he's like, what? And she's like, are you gonna say no? Fuck you. And so... And so it's like, what? Okay, so she's nice now? She's gonna be a proper leader, and she's actually gonna care. Like, oh yeah, okay. Like, yeah, that bit where she was, like, watching the death and bad all around, and she was feeling so sad, and she was so upset. John Freeman looked and saw the death and bad all around. Like that. Like, no. No, okay. Like, so yeah, fucking, she's up to something, whatever. I will take it no other way. That's just... So, I'll just talk about something else instead. Hey, 311, investigate it. Fucking Anduin here. Like, I will not have anybody say that Anduin is weak. Anduin is fucking great. Because he had to be like, no dad, you suck, and his dad could easily just fucking wreck him and not feel any remorse for it. But, yeah, so Anduin's great. Being a leader and actually following the light and actually doing the right thing is tough. That's why there aren't many light-wielding leaders out there. And I honestly, we'll have no more of the shit of people saying, For the Horde is such a good battle cry, For the Alliance is such a shitty battle cry. No, it's not. No, it's not. Maybe you just suck at doing it. So yeah, Anduin's great. Christy Golden did a great job with figuring him out, because she did. That was, a lot of that was her, because I remember reading in an interview, it was either an interview or the foreword of a book in which she said that, or no, it was, I'm pretty sure it was Metzen, actually, but he said that, they had actually planned on getting rid of him. And she said something like, no, I think I can do something with him. And they were just like, really? Okay, well, you know, we'll hold off on that then and see what happens. And she did a good job with him, and they were just like, all right, yeah, let's keep going with this then. So I will definitely try to find that. Yeah. And I believe that was, oh, jeez. That must have been in, dang it, it wasn't, was it Tides of Darkness? Is it that one? I want to say it wasn't. I want to say that's a different one, but, yeah, it's the one with Jaina on the cover screaming underwater. Yeah, I just looked that up real quick. I got it on my phone. But yeah, because he featured pretty heavily in that. Darkness. No, it wasn't. No. No, it wasn't. Okay. Tides of War. That's what it was. Alright. No wonder I was fucking confused. God damn it. Anyway. One where Theramore gets blown up. Spoilers. Oh my. But yeah, well, okay. I mean, I guess that does set the tone for it, though. I guess. I'm assuming that's what the intention of that trailer was. I mean, that's what most of them do, but yeah, kind of call back to, why'd that on full screen? Call back to the original, of course.
4 years have passed since the mortal.
Oh, look at Kalimdor, it looks like a potato. Oh man.
Against the might of the burning.
What is that?
Though Azeroth was saved,
Oh man.
the tenuous pact between the Horde and
Azeroth.
the Alliance has all but evaporated.
I still saw a reference to that, yeah. Because when you get the toy item that gives you a bunch of flight paths in the Eastern Kingdoms, the Eastern Kingdoms are referred to as Azeroth still. I thought for sure that was supposed to be a retcon. But it's not. It's still referred to as that. And it's super fucking confusing. Because the idea was that it was like, oh, you know, but the people who lived over there just called it Azeroth because that's all they knew. And then eventually it became the name of the planet. You know, which is kind of presumptuous if you ask me, but it's like England naming the entire planet England, but whatever. That's fine. And we never got that armor set. Come on, Blizzard. I don't care if it's Slutmog, give it to us. Actually, you know what? Give us some higher res Slutmog. Not stuff that's like ripped up and stuff. Give us some like good look. Come on, like please. Give us some like equal opportunity stuff, cause I want to dress my Blood Elf Warlock guy up. because he's pretty. That guy gets to wear it. He's actually kind of wearing Thunderheart there. Thunderheart, an expansion before Thunderheart. Yeah. Like, this cinematic still looks great. Like, yeah, the resolution's low, but they still knew how to animate just fine. It's so good. Never got that armor set. Never got that armor set either. We need it. I hope they didn't forget about that. I know they've got those models saved somewhere. Because they used him for the Burning Crusade trailer too. Well, but anyway, I've gone on long enough. So, that was it. See how it goes. Bye!